how much will it cost in ads to launch your product on Amazon? How much can you expect to spend during your launch phase versus after your launch phase? And will PPC be so expensive that you can't even afford the product, so you shouldn't even launch it? We're going to answer those questions in this video using an ad spend planner that I have created. You can also get it in the link below this video to get a direct copy for you to use yourself. So the key question I hear and that I want to answer is, how much will it cost me to launch a product on Amazon when it comes to ad spend? So I created this ad spend planner. The yellow boxes are the inputs. Everything else will be an output. So I'm going to use an example here of a Berea bomb, and I'm not going to talk about what we should price at, what should the branding be. Like, we're going to assume all that is great. And we're going to put a price of $19.99 in here. So let's say you're selling this for $19.99. You're ordering 1,000 units, and you want to sell through 20 units a day. And that's just going to tell you, okay, you have 50 days of supply then, and you're going to be targeting $400 in daily sales. So it takes that data and makes some projections about the cost. But to know what something is going to know how expensive your PPC is going to be, you need to know really three things. One, what's the conversion rate you should expect? And two, what is the cost per click you should expect on those keywords? Because if you need, let's say, 10 clicks for one sale, or a 10% conversion rate, you can always convert your conversion rate into a clicks to sale ratio. So 10% is every 10 clicks is one sale. If you don't know, I just put into ChatGPT, hey, 10% conversion rate is every sale, how many clicks? 12% conversion rate is one sale every how many clicks? Okay, so let's say you have a 10% conversion rate. You get one sale every 10 clicks, and then your average cost per click is $1.82. Then your average customer acquisition cost, or the cost to make one sale on your ad sales, is going to be $18.20. And when you launch, your ad sale percentage is going to be 70%. Usually 70% of your sales, if you're brand new on Amazon, are going to come from ads. As you grow, it's going to get closer to 60% ads, 50% ads if you have a successful launch. But we're just looking at what will it cost during the launch phase. So next question is, okay, I understand we need to understand conversion rate and cost per click to estimate how much it's going to cost, how many clicks we need, which we convert into a cost to get a sale. So 10 clicks times $1.82 a click comes to $18.20. But where do we find this data? So one, you can go to the product that you're looking at, and I use X-Ray and Cerebro. So Helium-10's plugin down here, I just click on keywords, and it's going to bring up all different keywords that this product ranks for. And now I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to see, let's just organic rank 1 to 30 to see what it's ranking on page 1 for, and sort by search volume. Now I can see Berea bomb. The average cost per click is $1.01. I can look at other keywords it ranks for, 122.90 cents. So I think around $1 would be a safe assumption to put here. So I'll put $1, and now I say, okay, what's going to be the average conversion rate? So for that, I like to use a tool called Sellerize. I think you could see inside Amazon Growth Opportunity Explorer too, but let me start with Sellerize and put in here Berea bomb. Click search. So we search Berea bomb in Sellerize Keyword Hunter Pro, and I'm scrolling down, and it's going to show me the conversion rate. If you hover over here, it's going to say conversion rate shows how often a keyword leads to a conversion. Sales divided by clicks for that keyword. So we can use this to estimate. This is our main keyword. Most of our sales are going to come from that keyword. That's 16%. Berea bomb balls is at 24%. Got 15%. So to be on the more conservative end of the range, I'm going to use that 16.3%, as we expect most keywords to come from that. But so the other place I was saying you can go is the Growth Opportunities tool inside Amazon. So inside Growth Opportunities, let's see, you go to Growth, and it's under the Growth tab here. You click on Marketplace Product Guidance, and then you click on Category Insights, and that's going to bring up this page. you type in I typed in Mexican seasonings because when I typed in burrito bombs, that didn't come up. So I just looked at what was the subcategory up here to get category insights on that. And if I come down here, then it's going to show me the search to purchase ratio, 25%, 13.39% is average. So if you take like the in between the average and what it's saying up here, I think we'd get in a similar range, 13% to 25%. If we go to Sellerize, we're getting 16% to 25% on here. So it's a similar range. If you don't want to pay for Sellerize, you could use that growth opportunity category insights tab. Could work too. So we got the conversion rate now. We got the average cost per click. We have our ad sales assumption, which is just based on experience and the accounts I've seen. And now we can see our average customer acquisition cost is going to be $6.13. But then it also says you should expect in your launch phase, your TACoS to be 21%. But now if I say I've launched really well and I'm getting 50% of my sales from organic, 50% from ads, now I can see my TACoS has dropped to 15%. So I can say, okay, now for planning during launch, I'm going to plan a 20% TACoS. And if it's successful, I could get it down realistically to 50% TACoS. And then you can start saying, well, what if my average cost per click was actually 90 cents because $1 was in the middle? So if I was trying to be on the cheaper end, maybe best case, I'm getting it closer to 13%. But you don't want to do that during launch. You want to put in the actual data of, all right, let's start with 70%. Let's start with the actual CPC and CVR. And down here is a calculator. So it's just pasted from left to right. It's not linked to this. So they're two separate exercises. And I can find the FBA fee inside Amazon. You can use the profitability calculator from Helium 10. And it's going to show you what the FBA fee is right there. So that's a quick way to find it. Your COGS is what the cost to source it. And then for refund rate, the 0.03, that's 3% assumption. And TACoS then is a 30% assumption here. But we know that our assumption for TACoS should probably, so let's make it 22% again to be conservative. And I can see now if I source this for $1.50, I assume 3% returns, which is average. And then my TACoS is at 22%. My net profit is $4.38 per unit. My ROI is 292%. By the way, 100% should be your minimum ROI. Most brands that I work with that are scaling and successful have 200+% ROI, all the way up to 1,000% ROI. So now let's go back to that. Let's say we get 60%. We move it down to 60% of our sales are coming from ads. We've ranked well. We got 40% organic. Now we have an 18% TACoS. So let me come over here and say, no, let's say what happens if we get this down to 18%? Now we're at 343%. And let's also do the opposite. Let's say, what if we overshoot? What if we're not 22%? What if we're at 30% TACoS? And our conversion rate isn't as great, so we have to spend more of our revenue to get sales. But we're still at 191% ROI, partly because our cost of goods is so low and our fulfillment fee, our FBA fee, I didn't fill that in. So let me go back. It's actually better than that, $4.55. Yeah, so you can see the range of possibilities and all the different costs it can be to spend on ads to see how that affects your ROI and profitability during launch and after launch. Now, let's go back up here to the 70% on ads. What's this mean in total dollars? How much money in dollars are you going to be spending? Well, your ad spend per day is going to come to be around $85. Your ad spend per month around $2,600. And all of this is just an output of what's your conversion rate, what's your cost per click, and what's your sales target in units per day. Because again, it uses the conversion rate and how many clicks do we need to get a sale to say, okay, well then we're going to need to drive this many clicks to get a sale. And each of those clicks is going to be $1. And so we need 86 clicks per day to get 14 ad sales, which is going to cost $85 per day, which is going to cost $26.63 per month. Of course, it could this is just a plan and a guardrails, but this is a much, much better plan than just assuming like, oh, I think it's 20% tacos. Because what I'm finding is people are saying you should sell supplement products. You should sell products that are consumable, which you should because they're amazing and they have great repeat purchase rate. And to carry that money into every month is awesome. But like if you're selling a beverage, a protein powder, the cost per click could be $4 and the conversion rate could be like, let's say 9%, and your cost to acquire customers $44, and then people want to launch a product that's $29.99, you're just going to get slaughtered, right? So that like this exercise is going to prevent you from getting slaughtered and making those big mistakes. But yeah, in the link below, there'll be a place for you to get a copy of this. And yeah, go ahead, use this ad spend planner.